So how would you say that people can kind of wade through the hype to the actual core of what they need to do?
As people are preparing to select an instrument, I think part of it is they have to have some reasonable parameters ahead of time. One of the things that sometimes we see is people can very quickly get confused in the process. They look at too many instruments, and many of them which should have been eliminated for something immediately. For example, are you really thinking of a grand piano or a vertical piano or an electronic instrument? You may, if you can set some of this ahead of time, that really can go a long way in terms of clarifying the decisions. As you're using anything obviously with your ears to select something, at times it becomes fatigue. If you think you're going to come into a piano show and play, the 200 instruments we have here, you're not going to likely end up with it. So sometimes it's several passes. This mission is to see if the difference between acoustic instruments and electronic instruments and see what's available there. And then the next time perhaps it's okay, now we decided we want a grand piano. Do some measurements. Is 6 feet going to be too big? And so again, you kind of eliminate some things that you can do ahead of time. Price range is obviously part of this. We're standing in front of a 9-foot Bechstein. This is almost a $250,000 piano. Obviously, it's the high line of what you could do from that direction, but if it's completely beyond what we're interested or can do, don't look at it unless you're just using it as a field trip or something to enjoy. So you have to look at some parameters ahead of time to try to consolidate it down, and then you can start to take a look at it. Again, in this room, if you're looking for a baby grand, there's certainly lots of choices, but then you can come down and listen to a few different instruments and go from there. The other thing to consider is that pianos are very unique. One of the beautiful things about instruments and pianos, even a production instrument, is there's a lot of hand workmanship that occurs on purchasing the instrument. So sometimes even if you take a look at multiple ones of the same thing, it can make a difference from there. So touch the instrument, make sure that's what you like. The other thing to consider is a lot of the final things that happens in an instrument actually occurs as your technician. It occurs in the home with the technician. So that's something not to underestimate. Also, it's important to make sure that follow-up service is something that's there in place. It's something we take a great deal of pride in, is that the piano isn't really completed until a technician goes and does final regulation or final voicing and really customized into the environment and to really create the personal instrument.